Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to KHA on 92.1. Today's segment is all about the infamous glass pyramid recently added to the Louvre that you all know and love. Here to talk about this topic are correspondents Autumn discussing France's cultural significance of the structure, Kayla covering the controversy around the pyramid, and me, Haley, giving you the background on the object. So, to start us off, here's a little background on the Louvre and how it became the cultural icon that it is today. The building was originally constructed under the guidance of King Philippe Auguste in 1190 to act as a defense against Anglo-Norman threats. Over the next few centuries, various rulers of France, such as Louis XIV, would contribute personal investments and styles to transform the fortress into an active art museum. Some of the most notable renovations have been adding several wings and changing the exterior from a medieval decor to Renaissance. After having completely reconstructed the palace to reflect the artistic culture of France, the Museum of Arts opened its doors to the Grand Gallery to the public in 1793. Here, they displayed paintings from the personal collections of the French royal families and aristocrats, distinguishing it as one of the top institutions in the art world. So, one of the most recent changes the Louvre has undergone has been the addition of a highly contemporary sculpture, otherwise known as the Glass Pyramid. This sculpture was commissioned by the President of France, François Mitterrand, in 1984, who hired Chinese-American architect I.M. Pei to design and build the pyramid. Now it stands 71 feet high and contains 673 glass segments held together with metal rods. The decision to create this statue wasn't simply for aesthetic purposes. It was designed to compensate for the deterioration of the museum's original entrance. The pyramid now acts as a second entrance to the museum, leading to a newly renovated underground lobby and shopping mall, where it adds light and ventilation to the underground floors. Now, to talk about the cultural significance of the pyramid is Autumn.
Hey guys, this is Autumn, here to talk about the cultural significance of the pyramid at the Louvre. The Louvre is a symbol of French nationalism, which is why the modern pyramid in the historical setting has cultural significance. Many were upset that the new pyramids blocked the view of the King's Palace and that the main view at the entrance of the Louvre is an American's work. These figures are also pyramids, which are associated with the pyramids of Giza in Egypt, due to the organization of a main pyramid with two smaller ones on the sides. The French do not have a history of using pyramids, so this brings some cultural appropriation into question. Another interesting aspect of all this is that the Louvre has many Egyptian artifacts that they are not returning, but they are emulating Egyptian pyramids. Interesting. Well, they are also trying to keep the past alive by having the pools around the pyramid reflect the old facade to mix the old and the new together. The whole reason that the pyramids were built was to take the strain off of all the daily foot traffic on the original entrance. There is now a new underground lobby that helps with that, but that is also a problem for some because a new lobby means an overall different experience at the Louvre. Some other institutions seem to like this new style because they copied the uses of the pyramids. These institutions are the Museums of Science and Industry in Chicago and the Dolphin Center in London. Their pyramids differ in style but still show a cultural desire to be like the Louvre. And now we have Kayla talking about the controversies.
Its enemies refer to it as Pharaoh Francois' Pyramid. Its supporters consider it a brilliant architectural project. Pei's pyramid design for the Louvre sparks debate in Paris. This is Kayla reporting on the controversies of the Louvre. The main opposition to the pyramid has been centered around testimony before the Historical Monuments Commission and Advisory Board. Bertrand Monet, a former chief architect for the commission, described the project as a gigantic, shimmering gadget with monstrous volume that would spoil the courtyard's symmetry. NPR correspondent Susan Stamberg interviews museum goers as to how they feel about the pyramids at the Louvre.
Gadget has now become a cherished landmark.
On a sharp and sunny fall day, fountains in the courtyard of the Louvre burbled briskly near a gleaming 3-story high glass and metal structure that has become a destination. Hello, will you speak to me for a moment for
Certainly.
radio? What do you think about this pyramid? It's just turned 20.
Telling we've just arrived. It's taken us bloody 2 hours to get here, and we've just arrived. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah?
Beautiful.
J'aime beaucoup la pyramide. Moi, j'aime bien.
The French love it now, the transparent piece of glass geometry that architect I.M. Pei designed as an entrance pavilion to the ancient, beloved Louvre. Built as a medieval fortress, the Louvre became a palace, then one of the world's greatest museums. And to tamper with it 20 years ago seemed, well, a sacrilege.
It was very controversial, you know. There was a lot of debates, and many people were very hostile.
Henri Loiret, president and director of the Louvre. He says before the pyramid went up, that Louvre courtyard was not much to write home about.
Two horrible squares, you know, and parkings.
I remember that, too. It was a parking lot. It looked awful.
Awful, terrible.
So Pei's pyramid cleared away the cars and gave Paris a new, sparkling glass heart.
When there is a line, for example, and we say to the people, but you have another entrance, you could go through this entrance. They do not want, because they want to go through the pyramid.
Some 25 to 30,000 visitors every day. Henri Loiret thinks the pyramid is more like sculpture than architecture, a masterpiece, he says. Apparently tourists agree.
And when you ask the visitors, why are you coming to the Louvre? They give mainly three answers: for the Mona Lisa, for the Venus of Milo, and for the pyramid.
More than 8 million visitors a year leave their mark on the glass pyramid, or marks.
And once a month we clean the glasses also with alpinists, which were...
Alpine climbers?
Yes, because I mean, it's something, it's a very special job, so nobody can do it except alpine climbers.
That's what you would call European ingenuity. This particular European, Louvre director Henri Loiret, thinks I.M. Pei's pyramid gave his revered old museum a today message.
It made the Louvre modern.
And now it's 20. Is that really possible, this shiny tip of the iceberg Louvre entryway, 20 years old? Indeed it is.
It seems out of place.
And still sometimes controversial after all these years. I'm Susan Stamberg, NPR News.
It looks too modern.
Now, in more recent news, in 2006, the Louvre pyramids played a prominent role in the Da Vinci Code, both as a setting for important events and for their supposed symbolic characteristics. In the Da Vinci Code, it was said that the pyramids contained 666 windows that was specifically commissioned by Mitterrand, who was obsessed with all things Egyptian. In reality, the pyramid does not contain 666 windows. There are actually 673. Another myth is that Mary Magdalene is buried in a submerged stone pyramid beneath the inverted pyramid. That is false. It works really well for the movie, but there is actually no submerged stone pyramid. The small stone pyramid lies on top of the floor and can be moved aside for cleaning. Although the Da Vinci Code is not accepted by art historians, the movie has brought a lot of attention to the Louvre and has had an increase in museum visitors. Now back to Haley.
Thanks, Kayla. Well, that's all we have for you today. We hope you enjoyed our segment covering the pyramid at the Louvre and its newfound place in France. We'll see you next time on KHA on 92.1.